YouTube, welcome to the golden monolith of Festag. This is like as close as we're gonna get to Christmas in Warhammer, okay? This is just how it works. There's a giant golden monolith in the snow, and rather than being a Christmas tree, it's probably a monument to the power of some chaos gods. I don't really know the story behind the golden monolith, but I mean, there's a lot of like pretty questionable looking insignia and pointy rocks around it, so we're gonna assume that it's pretty evil. And whoever gets control of it can be the Grinch who stole... I don't know. You guys make up the story. Help me out with... I don't know what the story is. But in keeping with Festag cheer, we've brought some green-colored decorations here. I say we. I've teamed up with the Skaven on Festag. I know, that makes me the Festag Grinch, right? Teaming up with the Skaven? It's awful. But our Kahan has teamed up with the Skaven. And he's brought some greenish creatures of his own here. We should have gotten in like full gear here, like everything needed to be green and red. So yeah, Skaven and Chaos. There's going to be a couple of Work Lightning cannons, and then we got some Natty Boobos and some regular Warp Lock Jezzails here. Also heralding in some Festag cheer with their colored ammunition as a battle gets started early where some Pistoliers got bracketed out by some Warhounds that I had hidden in the woods. And early in the battle here, we're going to be able to get rid of those Pistoliers, which is a boon to our team. But let's see what we're up against. Before we call out all the infantry on our end, let's just take a look at the enemy here. This is Empire and Dark Elves, and there are 4 Scourge Runner chariots and a Supreme Sorceress of Shadow rolling around on her Black Dragon, right now acting as Warp Lightning bait. And then we're going to have several units of Cold Ones. I'll bet Regina brought these because I was complaining in chat earlier about how I think that Cold One Knights are bad. And so she's probably brought them just to torment me with them. She's also got a, what is this, a Master? Yeah, a Master. Which is going to be an anti-large, armor-piercing, melee specialist hero. And then for the Empire, there are 3 units of handguns at the moment, supported by an Amethyst Wizard. An interesting choice. There's a Purple Son of Zerus, and I believe some Fate of Buna, Spirit Leech. Good stuff there. We got some great swords, a front line of state troops, spearmen with shields, and then they are supported by a warrior priest. Very nice unit in the latest version of the game, plus a couple of flagellants. And who else for Festag but Karl Franz? This man loves him some Festag celebration. All right, let's take a look at the rest of this. We got Ikit Claw in the, oh man, what is the Doom Wheels? Is that the name of this thing? Wheels of Doom. Yeah, we got Ikit Claw on the Wheels of Doom. So double Doom Wheel for Christmas. Festag. I meant Festag. Oh boy, Air, you're blowing it. Anyway, I did bring the Ever-Chosen. I feel like that he is a necessity for the Chaos Army in this setting. I did forget his horse though, so he's gonna have to forgive me later. But he doesn't really seem like the forgiving type. Anyway, he's out supporting the Natty Boobos, and of course, I've got the Regiment of Renowned Dragon Ogres here. Gonna be the Summoners of Rage, and it does take them 2 minutes of melee to summon their rage, though, so don't get ahead of yourself. My army is made up of Chaos Warriors, a couple of warriors with great weapons. I have 1 warrior with halberd, and then I have some Chosen with halberds, who I believe are out here right now. And then I also have some Chosen with great weapons hanging out. So I brought a lot of heavy infantry to help support Skaven's lack of good heavy infantry. But we're a little bit limited mobility-wise. However, our ranged is very good. But on the other side, I didn't yet call out the Sunmaker, which is right now giving a 18th degree sunburn to these Warp Lock Jezzails. 18th degree because there was 18 rockets. That was pointed out to me during the battle by the Empire player. So yeah, it was a pretty nasty hit. That Sunmaker is absolutely brutally effective versus armored infantry. Yikes. So you can see there my Chaos Warrior came under a volley, and look how badly it damaged it. Just tremendous damage. Almost, that's probably what, 40% hit points? All at one go. So we got ourselves a bit of a standoff right now. Regina is playing as the Dark Elves, and she loves to skirmish, so she is out here tearing through my troops with their Scourge Runner chariots. No particular hurry to engage, and why should there be? When you bring a unit like this, use the ammunition. Pick the most valuable targets, use that ammunition. These units are also good in melee in the late game against infantry, so definitely got to make use of that. And you can see that right now our inability to counter her at the moment with ranged, because our Jezzails are positioned elsewhere. There is also a, a Warp Grinder weapons team here, which is a cool unit. There's also some Eshin Triads. Let's go find them. Rat Ogres. Iket's got some fun units here. Yeah, here's some Eshin Triads. So we get a nice anti-large magic attack unit here to try and help us defend from the rather large critters on the other side of the aisle. Now, because there's a bit of a standoff here, the Skaven are going to target their Warp Lightning Cannons onto the Empire Greatswords, which will be an expensive infantry unit for them, and see if we can get the Empire to give up its patience and its positioning. But this battle is just going to start out as a good old-fashioned skirmish. This is the way Total War used to be. You had to vie for skirmishing dominance because whoever won it was going to have a significant advantage in the later game. A little bit different in this game because this is all artillery, but you can definitely see that each player is not keen to give up their position or to engage too early. So a lot of cat and mouse type stuff going forward right now, just kind of playing back and forth at each other. You can see that those the Sunmaker is making short work of the warp blocks. The Natty Buboes can stay hidden from quite a range because they have a stalk. So they may not be entirely visible, but if they become visible, they are definitely within range of the Sunmaker. You can see that the Warp Lightning Cannons are causing some pretty significant damage to the infantry, or the Empire infantry here. The Greatsword's down to almost 50% health before the battle begins, and they're going to need those because there is some significant Chaos infantry on the other side, and because the Sunmaker is having to use its ammo on Warp Block Jezzails, this means that my Chosen may not be the target that gets the attention. Right now, my Dragon Ogres are getting the attention, but it's not really paying any dividends, so the Empire is not going to continue down this line. Look at this right here. I don't know if that was aimed at my Dragon Ogres or if it was aimed at the Natty Buboes, but it took out about half of the Natty Buboes. Just a brutal assault from the Sunmaker, which doesn't have a lot of volleys left, but it has gotten some kills regardless and some damage done. Did a lot of damage on some Warp Block Jezzails, and those are dangerous units. So we have been able to do a lot of damage to the Warrior Priest and the Great Swords, though, and this has been a bit advantageous for my side of the battlefield. You're going to see the Sunmaker just kind of open up on some of our units in the middle there, causing some damage to our Warp Lightning Cannons with some of its last volleys in an attempt to try and stop them from firing. Now, back here in the back, Regina's patient play with the Scourge Runner Chariots has paid some dividends. She's killed only killed one of the Chosen with halberds, but done damage, and I can't heal it. And then back here, it's really the Wheels of Doom, though, which has taken tremendous damage at the hand of those Scourge Runner Chariots. And that is an expensive unit, and otherwise getting some value out of those Scourge Runner Chariots. And there's two that are being held back in reserve. This patient play could pay dividends late in the game. Now, Karl Franz is looking to get over here and get rid of these Skaven slaves that were just kind of pushing up and being a nuisance. But he may have gotten jebaited here. If he gets too close to Iket does have a Howling Warp Gale. So Karl might want to keep his distance here, not get caught up in that. Summoners of Rage, I'm kind of pulling them over to protect the Natty Buboes so that Karl can't land on them. That also means that I don't have anything over here to really help against these Scourge Runners, and this is what happens when your infantry catches up with Scourge Runners. The Scourge Runners just run all over them. These one-wheeled chariots are pretty entertaining, and yeah, they took a crap all over those Eshin Triads, and there's more coming in that are looking to take advantage of that situation. Now, here is that Howling Warp Gale, and if you're Karl Franz, you are not loving Festag right now. You've had about enough of this green celebration. So you're going to see Iket, Natty Buboes, and several other units just start to pour it on thick here as poor Karl just cannot get away from this. He's going to take shot after shot from some very deadly Skaven skirmishers, and he is in bad shape. This is an extended Howling Warp Gale, so he gets stuck there for way too much time for his own good. And he's going to be pushed out, and as he flees, he won't be able to be as dodgy as if he was still under human control, so The Warp Lightning Cannons are paying some heavy dividends for my team at the moment, and it's going to force the Empire and the Dark Elves to make their move at some point, else they're just going to have to sit back and eat the entirety of the ammo out of our Warp Lightning Cannon. But at this point, they probably will regardless. You can see Carl there. His celebration is over. He's going to get a face full of snow for Festag this year. And he's going to need a new bird. That one's looking a little bit used at this point. Used bird. Lightly used. Near mint condition. What do you think this thing sells for on Warhammer Craigslist? You know what? I would actually pay a lot for a Karl Franz model if I could get a hold of one that's all painted and stuff. Anyway, the standoff continues with the Scourge Runner Chariots. Like I said, there's a very long skirmishing phase this one, but obviously the melee phase is about to get underway. I'm going to keep the Summoners of Rage out here, though there's about to be a Pit of Shades that's rather cleverly placed here by the Supreme Sorceress, and it catches the Natty Boobos, as well as this Skaven Slave unit that was out here, and just rips through them, so lots of damage done. And at this point, the Cold One Knights are going to receive some of the attention, and we're going to get some Doom and Darkness on Claw, maybe trying to get him to rout there. It almost works, actually. It's almost enough to knock his leadership out from the Empire player. Now, the handguns are moving up, and they had taken all those shots at Ikit. That Doom and Darkness nearly got him on top of the handgunners. These guys really put a beating. You can see him putting another volley in there, and they are doing some serious work. The Wheels of Doom took some hits. Look at that. Ikit and the Wheels of Doom almost gone now because of the work from the other side here. Now, right now, though, these handgunners are a little blobbed. They're going to need to clear things up. They're going to get attacked by Skaven Slaves, have to pull back, and they will. But yeah, they're a little blobbed up, more than they should be right now. So let's take this moment from Archaon's perspective here at the moment. You can see the Scourge Runners hoping to come in from the flank. I've got some Warhounds and Summoners of Rage to kind of ward them off my flanks where they're hoping to do damage to my Chosen with Halberds. You can see the Brass Orb here placed nicely into the Empire Infantry, while the dual Doom Wheels come flying through the Empire line, and then Archaon's going to summon down some piercing bolts of burning right here too. There's a decent blob of Empire Infantry. See if we can get in here and kind of soften them up a little before the fight begins. Archaon does have his Slayer of Kings, though. It has a cooldown time that requires you to be in melee for 2 minutes, I believe. So I'm able to keep my halberds safe for now, but they're taking a lot of damage from these Scourge Runners. Regina knows that they have to go. Ikit is in bad shape up here. Got attacked by Cold One Knights, and in the middle of the mayhem, I've kept a unit of Warhounds with poison hidden, and I'm really aiming to get to these handguns. One of the units of handguns got knocked out quickly. This Warrior Priest came to 1v1 Archaon 2. It did not go well for him. He got the Slayer of Kings, and the Warrior Priest was immediately pushed out. Archaon's going to come over here and help finish off these Flagellants. And then you can see the battle getting truly underway here. The Master unit for the Dark Elves gets engaged by the Wheels of Doom and some Rat Ogres. Though I do believe that Claw is in bad shape. Those guns are getting him. He's down to just a few hit points, and he's routing at this point. Only 100 hit points. I'll take a couple more stray handgun shots. Oh, he's gone. Ikit down. Another piercing bolt of burning there from Archaon, but it's going to be immediately replayed by the Shadow Sorceress, who gets a really beautiful pendulum here, and I saw it, but it was just too late. Or not a pendulum. Yeah, not a pendulum, but that's that kind of breath attack. I don't remember what it's called, but I remember seeing it before. I can't remember the name of it at the moment. Anyway, my Hounds did hold in reserve and did manage to get to a bunch of these handguns, but there's a few units that kind of regrouped up here that'll be too much for the Hounds to overcome. So I'm actually going to send these Chaos Warriors over this way because the handguns got temporarily held, and I'm going to pull the Hounds back and try and swing them into a better position. You can see that the Dark Elves own the back lines. They've gone and basically wiped out all of the Skaven, and right now they're working on the Warp Grinders, which are using their abilities back there to try and cause as much damage as they can, but the Skaven won't be able to hold out forever, and the power bar still stays pretty evenly balanced. However, the Dragon has a lot of work cut out for it if it's going to help win this. Archaon is in good shape. Cycle charging could potentially overcome him. With his Slayer of Kings, if he just gets to land a hit or two in melee, he'll do tremendous damage to just about anything. Now the Wheels of Doom and some of my Chosen and Warriors are pushing forward over here. Let's see, we're just continuing to try and put the hurt on the Empire troops, get them completely off the battlefield. My Hounds are now chasing down routing troops, and then over here they got some more handguns, and they're going to chew up the Hellstorm rocket battery crew. The Summoners of Rage going to join them. I'm going to try and keep these two units close together in case the dragon lands. I can try and poison it, but I don't imagine that the Dark Elves are going to make it easy for us to get to that dragon. Yeah, we're able to cut through. Not a whole lot of infantry left at this point. Look at the timing here. Almost a perfectly timed pendulum there. Almost. Very close. Very close. I got somewhat fortunate that that didn't land all the way. The Amethyst Wizard finds himself in trouble. There's just a few infantry coming to try and bail him out. He's going to try and get away from there, but there's a lot of enemy units around, and the Amethyst Wizard not able to get away from all the Rat Ogres and the Wheels of Doom. And despite the cool little skeleton scythe thing he's got there, I don't think there's a lot of units here that he's going to be bringing death to. He is caught in a very, very bad place. Terrified, he's going to be pushed off the battlefield, which leaves us in yet another kind of standoff situation here. Hey, that's what makes these fun. We don't have any way to catch Regina's faster moving units, and she still has ammo. With some of her chariots, she needs to use this ammo, and she's going to use it patiently. Hit the fast forward button here and kind of show you all what's going down. I do believe she has a couple of Scourge Runner chariots maybe still rolling around with ammo. Yeah, they're over here. So she's going to come up on the flank. I can chase her with the dogs. The dogs can't kill the chariots. They would have to hold it for a bigger unit to get a hold of. And you can see that she's taking pot shots at the Rat Ogres and these other large targets. Definitely good targets. And then otherwise, you're going to see her firing at the Chosen or the Summoners of Rage, which is where she needs to be placing the ammo. I offered Archaon up as a bit of sacrifice. And of course, she's happy to take a cycle charge here too with the Scourge Runner chariots. And then down here, I saved the lightning from my Summoners of Rage for just such a moment, and I'm able to get it off here and cause some damage to the Cold One Knights. It's not going to be tremendous, but it definitely helps put an end to some of those units. So the Summoners of Rage able to help clean up a little of that. We do get a quick catch here with our dogs, but the dragon was coming in and I immediately fled the premises. One of my dogs is going to get terrified out of the fight. You can see the Rat Ogres here are going to try and come in and do some damage to the dragon. They might as well try. It's going to be difficult for them to accomplish it, especially with the Scourge Runners adding support there. So you can see the Summoners of Rage now heading over to Archaon's position to see if they can tie down the other Scourge Runner, but it's not going to work. The two Rat Ogres get terrified, and the Supreme Sorceress is able to hold her ground in this drawn-out battle. Regina's doing a great job of causing as much damage as she can here late game and making life very difficult. It's what you do. It's a battle, folks. You fight it. Don't ever give up. She's going to throw in here, and my Summoners of Rage and Archaon are going to throw in as well. Take the fight to these Cold One Knights, and the Summoners of Rage are going to be very good in this fight, of course. These units are damaged. Archaon is here supporting, so they're not going to lose their will to fight too quickly. But they'll, of course, take damage. The Cold One Knights are definitely not bad at imparting some damage back to the Summoners of Rage. And it's a fairly weak unit as it is, but they are holding out rather nicely. So the Cold One Knights all rout, and the Master is close to death. You can see that the Scourge Runner chariots are absolutely relentless with their charges. Fortunately for me, the armor of my Chaos Infantry is helping a lot. We are being damaged, but it doesn't happen as quick as it would otherwise happen if I had unarmored infantry here. I'm able to get the Summoners of Rage over here to kind of temporarily tag the Supreme Sorceress a little, try and keep her on the ground. But she doesn't have any intentions of sticking around in this party for too long. I kept clicking attack orders. She is able to get back up in the air and go skyward bound yet again. Fortunately for me, the charge of that Scourge Runner brings them fairly close to my Dragon Ogres. And we get one of them to rout, but and a nice cycle charge because I can't counter it. Supreme Sorceress comes down trying to get a quick knockout on the Summoners of Rage. They'll get a few hits, but the dragon does have them overpowered at this point. Nice little rear charge there with the Scourge Runners to buy the Supreme Sorceress a time to get back in the air. And it's going to be bye-bye time for the Dragon Ogres. Fortunately, though, another Scourge Runner Chariot falls over here, and the power bar just swings completely out of control for the Dark Elves, and that is game. Fantastic game. These were just members from my community. I called on them, see if they wanted to play a game tonight. They did. We had a lot of fun with it. So, Stormrunner, thanks for being a great teammate there. And then Leo and Regina, thanks for the really fun game on the other side. I loved the Sunmaker. Anytime this thing comes to battle, and especially against Chaos, you know it's going to be fun. And it was, man. That thing does nuts damage, which is why we had such a standoff like we did at the beginning between Stormrunner and the Empire and Dark Elves. I didn't have the range. I left that up to the Skaven because the Skaven are really good at range. And we had some great range here with Stormrunner. I love the dual Doom Wheel theme going on with Ikit and the Wheels of Doom too. It didn't end up going like completely bonkers, but it was fun still. And of course, you can't go without some Warplock Jezzails to a fight, right? It just almost feels wrong. So appreciate Stormrunner being a great teammate there, playing an awesome role with the ranged and keeping us in that fight, giving us a chance to get in there and try and win it late game. We've won the Golden Monolith. I mean, feel free. Jump in the chat and tell us what the story is of why people fight for the Golden Monolith on Festag. Definitely open to some funny ideas. No doubt you all can come up with something nice. But yeah, Leo able to get some damage done with that Sunmaker. The kills may not look really high for the Sunmaker, but remember that he basically KO'd half or more of Natty Bubo's, plus the other Warplock Jezzail, plus took out, I think, like 40% of one of my Chaos Warriors. I mean, there's a lot of damage here that doesn't get represented in a kills number all the time. And that Amethyst Wizard got a fair number of kills there, too. So he obviously dropped a spell somewhere that I missed. You know what? That may have been his... Is that his Breath Attack, or was that the Supreme Sorceress? I was thinking it was the Supreme Sorceress, but maybe it was his. I need to go look that up, because he's got those 96 kills there. I don't remember whose it is, but the Supreme Sorceress from Regina, fantastic work here. The 164 kills, and could have potentially had more if leadership hadn't turned against it. But the Scourge Runner Chariots, again, causing a lot of damage that may not show up in the kills, like the two Doom Wheel, or at least one Doom Wheel, took a lot of damage from one of these things. My Dragon Ogres took a little damage. Some of my Chosen with Halberds took damage from them. So these things definitely did more work than the kills numbers would play off, and I would expect an army of no less from Regina, which would be something unique and mobile. Anyway, had a lot of fun with it. Thanks to all the players. I'll be back with some more battles soon. If you want to play with me, go join the Discord. I haven't gotten a ton of battles in recently, but obviously I get in there as much as I can, and there's other people you can play battles with too. You don't have to wait on me. And it's just a great place to be, especially with the quick battle being broken and just quick battle being kind of a mess in general. Join the Discord. The link's in the description there. It's free. Just click it, join, find games, talk to people about builds. Just talk in general if you want. We don't mind that. We have a lot of fun with it. Anyway, I love the people in the Discord, and I love all of you who are watching. Thank you. I hope you're having a happy holiday. If you are celebrating holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is, Festag, Festivus, if there's a holiday out there, I hope you're enjoying it. And if you're not celebrating a holiday, then I hope you're having a great time anyway. And I can't wait to see you with some more Total War Warhammer 2 action. HeirofCarthage, signing out for now.